Energy is used in a different form. Energy can be used for basal metabolic rate. Energy can be used for physical activity, for thermogenesis. Basically, there are three different ways of our body using energy. For basal metabolic rate, or an energy that's being used for our life, in a way, some of our organs work within itself. It doesn't need a command. For instance, our brain is working without we even forced to work. When we move our hands, it's actually brain trying to dictate what other tissue is going to do. But for some organs like heart, gastrointestinal systems, liver, kidney, those organs doesn't need a command to work. When that happened, it's called basal metabolic system, in which that we use energy for internal process that keep us alive. We need our heart to keep beating. We need our lung to keep breathing. And we need all the system in our body to keep working even though we're not commanding anything. That's the first energy usage. That's the biggest portion of how energy is being used in our body. And then the next is for physical activity. Physical activity is important because most of normal individuals, they're moving or they're using their body, like me using hands, or you perhaps walking, or even listening or blinking. When we do that, our body uses energy. For speaking, we need energy. For even for listening or seeing, we need energy. And that energy is in the form of movement or another activity is being used as a component of energy expenditure. And the last one is thermogenesis. Thermogenesis is also essential for our life. Why? Because as a human, we need our body to be at certain temperature. That's very important because we need enzyme to work at a certain temperature. And by doing that, we use energy to stabilize our temperature. Imagine that you are living in a cold climate, going out at 1 degree Celsius. It doesn't mean our body become 1 degree as well. Our body usually stable around 36 degrees. And there's a reason for that. The reason is because our body be able to release heat. That's why we call it thermogenesis. We generate energy. When we generate heat, we generate thermal systems that keeps our body in a certain temperature. And that's very important because then our system in the body can work really well. And those are three important components of energy usage: for basal metabolic rate, for energy expenditure, and for thermogenesis. And when you calculate the total energy expenditure, you have to calculate all those three components. Usually, the basal metabolic rate, which is the biggest component, you can calculate it by Mifflin formula or Harris-Benedict formula. And then you can calculate physical activity by examining what type of physical activity an individual have. Somebody can be very active, somebody can be sedentary, and the energy recommendation is based on that. If somebody is sedentary, they don't work out a lot, their job is actually tied to their desk, for instance, then they don't need much energy. But if they're physically active, they're doing sport like 2-3 hours a day, then they need more energy for that. And the last is for thermogenesis. The thermogenesis is used to stabilize our body temperature as well as during eating. When we eat, certain food can induce release of heat. It's usually called diet-induced thermogenesis. So combination of those factors can help us calculate energy needs for individuals. And that's very important when we trying to create a menu personalized to a person. We combined knowledge on calculating the basal metabolic rate, calculating physical activity, and calculating thermogenesis.
Thank you for watching the video until the end. If you are still interested to understand more about energy, appetite regulation in the context of weight loss program, please click the link at description. We have classes at Udemy for free just for you. See you!